As I was suggesting yesterday, the quality of continuity of practice. So the bell rings at the end of a formal sitting period, and so then we now go into the informal period of the day, the mealtime offering, and then the open period in the day. Some of you are staying here, some of you are staying at the nearby hotel or other places, and then going away, coming back. And so what I encourage is, rather than thinking, this is a break in the retreat, or this is somehow the practice is interrupted, but to consciously sustain that quality of attention, paying careful heed, careful mind to each moment, the different perceptions that we have, going from one place to another, going upstairs, downstairs, out onto the street, into a car, coming, going. That even while you're sitting in a car heading off to a hotel, or you're sitting eating the meal, the mind is essentially the same. The awareness that knows sitting in a car, or the awareness that knows sitting in the shrine room, it's the same awareness. It's the same mind, really. So the objects of perception are changing, but it's really seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, arising, passing away, right? So the complexity of the sense objects, the experiential field is changing, but still it's all happening within this mind. As Ajahn Amaro would often say, that we think that we are moving around in the world, but really it's the world that's happening within us, that the world arises in this mind. Which is not to say that everything is a dream or is completely invented by this mind, but rather, as I was saying earlier, the only world we can know is the world of our own experience. As the Buddha said, that whereby one is a perceiver of the world and a conceiver of the world, lokasanyi, lokamani, that is what we call the world in this Dhamma and discipline. So even if you're outside the building or sitting in a car and a different place, it's still seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, arising, passing away. And this isn't just a kind of mind game. It's in a way developing the refuge, the refuge of awareness. When we talk about, say, taking the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha as our refuges, often we would think, taking the Buddha as a refuge means I trust in the enlightenment and the wisdom of Gautama Buddha, who lived 2,500 years ago and is the founder of this religious tradition. Or I trust in the Dhamma, the teaching as explained by the Lord Buddha, or I trust in the Sangha, that's the refuge, those who have awakened to that, the truths expounded by the Buddha and who follow the Buddha's path. So those are, I would say, those are the external aspects of the three refuges. But as Ajahn Amaro would often point out, a refuge is a safe place. It's not just a nice idea. The Buddha image is not a refuge. The Gautama Buddha who lived 2,500 years ago, he's gone. As Ajahn Chah would say, he's not around anymore. So what makes the Buddha refuge is more the internal qualities of each of the refuges. So the refuge in Buddha is not just a refuge in Gautama Buddha, this great sage who lived those 25 centuries ago, but the Buddha, which is the real refuge, is that quality of awakened awareness of our own heart, the buddho, the awake, aware quality. So when in the meditation, if you notice, if the mind that is aware, it can know pleasure, it can know pain, it can know comfort or discomfort, it can know the liked or the disliked, but the awareness that knows comfort and the awareness that knows discomfort is the same awareness. So if we tease those things apart, they separate those out, then we learn to trust in that quality of knowing, that quality of awakened awareness. Then the different objects, the different patterns of experience can arise and pass away, take shape within that field of awareness, but the awareness itself is not disturbed or shaken or confused by that. So this is really the essence of Vipassana meditation, is that say, freeing that quality of awareness from identification with like, dislike, gain and loss, inside, outside, me and you, and so forth. So that there's, in a way, having an urban retreat like this, where there's this environment of the retreat place, but also some of you are needing to come and go. Also the aspects of the routine, like the mealtime or tea time, the informal periods, they're a good test for the ability of the mind to know, well, this is just seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, arising, passing away, and that it's a good test, a good exercise in learning how to let go of those habits of identification, like I'm going, I'm seeing, I'm doing, I'm arriving, I'm leaving. Rather, this is all happening within the same sphere of awareness. As the Buddha said to Rohitasa, a deva called Rohitasa, who had been a yogi trying to walk to the end of the world, the Buddha said, well, you can't get to the end of the world by walking, but unless you get to the end of the world, you won't get to the end of suffering. Which might seem a bit confusing. But so what is the world? The world is the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind. And where does the world end? The world ends in this awareness, that which is knowing, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. In a way, that's where the world meets. That's the world where the world terminates. It's known here, kind of like Central Station. I don't know if Delhi has a central train station, but all the lines meet. But it's like our own citta, our own heart, is the place where all of those lines of sense experience meet. They all terminate here. So it's, in Ajahn Chah's languaging of things, he'll say it's like in Bangkok they all meet at Bang Lampu station. All the lines terminate there at Central Station. So he said, this is Central Station. So that if we are, say, using these teachings skillfully, then we can extend the practice, not just to think of it inside this hall or doing the walking meditation, but most usefully as we're moving around, we're engaging in other activities like eating and coming and going, resting and so forth. Then we can see how much that quality of awareness is indeed it's a refuge, it's a safe place. It's where the heart can, in a sense, take its ground. It can abide in that quality, and there's the security, because just like a mirror reflects without bias whether something is beautiful or ugly, pleasant or painful. It just reflects. The mirror doesn't. If you stand in front of the mirror in the morning and the mirror doesn't say, "Oh, you look terrible today. I'm not going to reflect you." It doesn't do that, right? Just whatever you look like, it just the light just bounces back. In the same way, this awareness, this aware quality of the heart, it can receive all experiences. It can know all experiences without bias, without confusion, and without identification. So those are a few reflections to employ, to bring into action during this period of the day, and then we can get ready for the meal offering now.